Good evening, folks, and welcome to another very special episode of Malt and Magic Campaign 2, where this time we go and explore somebody else's origin story. Now, last we left off, not last week, but the week before, our party had descended into the Cathedral of Sin to finally go and wipe out the Order of the Right Hand and the followers of Lilith. And there was a moment where the party had stepped into a room and were about to fight a bunch of priests and two demonic-type creatures that had been summoned. And it was in that moment that we paused, ready to pick up in a future episode. And like last week, where we cut to Cavan and went into his mind's eye, this week we cut to Edgious in his skeletal form with his Wakizashi out ready to strike as a priest comes round the corner. We go into one of those dark sockets of Edgious's skull, as tonight we explore the origin story of Edgious Jones, private investigator. Now, a word of warning as always, tonight's episode will contain themes of violence, graphic injuries, as well as some potentially distressing themes related to murder and abduction and killing. So viewer discretion is strongly advised. Please take care to step away should you need to, or should those themes become overwhelming. There will also be, no doubt, some adult humour and adult language. You have been warned. Let's roll. Good evening. Hello, my friends. You were missed last week,
Hello.
is all I'm going to say.
Thanks. We missed you. I missed you.
So welcome back to another episode of Malt and Magic. Now, before we get started, there are two things I need to say this week. First of all, for yesterday, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, including two that are on this particular stream. So, happy Father's Day to all the dads. Happy Father's Day to my dad, who may be watching. So yeah, happy Father's Day again. And secondly, I need to wish my wife a very happy anniversary for Thursday this week. Now, she won't be watching this, but I figured I'd say it anyway.
She won't.
But yes, no, she won't. She
Aw,
won't. But
cute.
yeah, happy anniversary. So
Oh,
past the soppy stuff now. Then let's move on to tonight's episode. So, Edgious. We go into that dark socket of your... In fact, what am I doing? Let's do the lineup. I'm too excited for this episode. Too excited for this episode. So, I am Matt. I am a Dungeon Master for this evening, and we will get into the episode very, very quickly.
I'm
What
Danny,
NPCs
I've
are you
been playing
playing?
sidekicks and stuff. Cannon
I'm
fodder
Birdie
is
and
what
I'm-
I'll be playing.
well, I hope not. I'm going to do my best to make sure that's not the case, but who knows. I'm playing Edgious Jones, PI. A
Absolutely,
younger,
and look.
youthful version of my...
Just look at him
Normal
on that side
character.
of the screen.
Giving off
mate.
Tom Hiddleston vibes.
Yeah, very much so.
Like it.
Excellent. So yes,
Not
into
you,
the episode
folks,
then.
I meant the drawing.
My apologies. Oh. Well, that hurt.
out in one fell swoop there. Oh, very good. So yes, as we sort of join Edgious Bones in the Cathedral of Sin, then poised and ready to strike with his wakizashi, the camera zooms into the dark sockets of Edgious Bones' skull. And then we see light. Golden light, which turns to sort of candlelight in a fairly well-furnished room. You can hear the rain pattering on the shutters on the outside of your room, Edgious, of your living room, as you are currently playing a silly game with Heron while your wife, Kalila, is that how you pronounce Kalila?
Kalila, yeah, Kalila.
Kalila is there just doing some of her sort of household chores and some of the bits she's doing. I imagine she's actually patching one of your suit sleeves, which got ripped on one of your last jobs. So what game are you playing with Heron?
That's a great question. That's a really, really good question. What the game that I'm playing with him is I've made him a wooden puzzle box that has different like bits that like slide, and you have to like slide and move things in the correct pattern to then begin rotating it and then open it up. And inside I've hidden a little piece of his favorite type of chocolate. So I've given it to him both as like something to entertain him, and I'm kind of watching over, but I'm also curious about how inquisitive he is. As far as I've known so far, the schooling that he's had, I've been told that he's far more advanced for his age, that words have been thrown around that scare Edgious, because though Edgious is a smart guy, he works as a private investigator, words like genius and things like that scare him, because Edgious is not that. How could he ever teach something that is that? How could he ever, lead and be an example for something that is a genius without being so himself? So this is his first adventure into trying to be that person for his son.
Excellent. It's as you curiously watch your son then work on this puzzle box and begin to try and figure it out, that you suddenly hear a very fervid knock at the door.
At this time of day? Kalila, look after him 1 second, make sure he doesn't do anything. And Edgious will get up and pull the cuffs down of his white shirt, kind of pull down his waistcoat, and saunter on over out of the lounge and into the hallway, and basically just open the door and be like, good day.
As you open the door, you see a member of the Harmonic Legion dressed in their sort of soldier garb, soaked through to the skin, sort of a half elven individual, and they sort of look at you and they take their helmet off and sort of hold it down. Edgious Jones, you are the private investigator, yes?
You have come to the right place, but this is one of my days off, sir. My office is down the road. If you'd like to leave me a letter or something, I'd be happy to attend to your problems when I'm back in the office at the beginning of the week.
Sorry, I am Shieldmaster Heinrich. We have an urgent issue that, we think we need your help with.
Edgious is gonna look over his shoulder down the hallway, kind of like sees like just the outline of the door, and his son kind of sat off in the distance of the door of the lounge, kind of playing, and he's gonna be like, well, I'll decide how important it is and whether my time is worth it. As you can see, I'm not a government official like yourself. I'm freelance. So please enlighten me to what you need my time for today.
You will be well compensated. It is best you come see. I must stress the urgency. Sorry, I do not wish to drag you from your family. I appreciate, but we are not.
It just
quite
holds
sure
up
what to make of
a
it.
finger to his mouth. Wait here. Edgious turns around and walks back into his house, closing the door and locking it from the inside before walking back into the lounge and is going to look at his wife, and she's going to give him a nod that is an unspoken language between the two of them. The nod that means it's time to go do work. And, you know, though Edgious is a private eye, the work that he sometimes does can be very risky and very dangerous. And though Kalila is, you know, worried about that kind of stuff, she very much approves of me helping people. It's one of the things she liked most about me, is that I like to help people. So as she gives me the nod, Edgious is going to nod and hold his hand out for her to pass him the jacket, the suit, the pinstripe suit jacket that she was repairing for him.
And you can see where the sleeve had sort of ripped down the seam. It's just about finished. And she sort of looks at you. I guess I'll be finishing that when you return. Try not to be too late.
Yeah, don't wait up. Just chuck some food in the cold stores, and I'll make sure I get to it. And he's gonna walk over to Heron and be like, "Hey, buddy. Oh my." And surprisingly, he's gonna be like, "It took Edgious a week to make this box and work out how its mechanism worked. His son has done 90% of it in the 10 minutes since he gave it to him."
I think I'm almost there, Dad.
You have done so phenomenally well. I can't tell you how proud I am of you. Look at you just striding out on your own without even having any of my help. Look at you go.
I'll try and have it finished tomorrow when I see you.
I'm gonna try and do my best to be home for bedtime so that I can tell you a good story. I've got a good one for you tonight. A real good one.
Okay. Promise?
He leans down and ruffles his son's hair, plants a kiss on his forehead, and looks deep into his eyes. I promise, my boy, I'll be back to fill your dreams with wonder. And then he's gonna grab his little head and like push him off and like almost push him over a little bit and be like, "Love you, scamp." And then walk over to his wife, bend down, and Edgious is gonna kiss her gently but passionately on the lips. And he's gonna hold it there, linger for like a second longer than she expected before pulling away and putting his little finger up to her, as they always do before he leaves. And they're gonna link fingers, and Edgious will look into her eyes and go, "I love you, dear."
I love you too. Stay safe.
Unlink the finger, and then we'll grab the suit, and as he walks out the door, swing it round, and almost like meticulously swing it round, letting go of it in the air, sliding his arms into both sleeves at the same time, popping the collar, pulling his cuffs out from the bottom, and doing up the buttons as he walks to the door, unlocks the door, and goes, "Okay, business it is," and goes to follow the guard.
Thank you. And you see Shieldmaster Heinrich just sort of places his helmet back on, takes his shield actually off his back and sort of holds it above his head.
Under, let's try and stay as dry as possible.
And sort of then rushes you and hurries with you down a number of alleyways. You take twists and turns through Union City in sort of early spring, late winter, early spring. And the rain is coming down really hard, and eventually you get sort of led not far from my house, but still in the middle tier, if you like, and eventually led into a dark alley where a smell hits you instantly. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, what the fuck is that foul stench? That is a Constitution saving throw. That's a 21, dirty.
21. So, despite this horrendous stench, and it smells like ammonia and meat and rot, and you can see there are a number of other soldiers that seem to be just hunched over, just and Heinrich just sort of wanders over to them. Get out of the alley. Chucks them to the side. Further down here, and you can see at this point he takes out a cloth and sort of ties it around his mouth to cover his nose and mouth, and then leads you down. And as you look now down the alley, you can see this strange purplish pink glow come from further down the alley.
Edgious will pop out his handkerchief from his pocket and hold it to his mouth and nose as he then walks past the guard that was retching and goes, "Keep it together, son." Goes to take a step, turns and goes, "Ugh," and like fake throws up at him, "Ugh," and then like continues walking basically past him.
So you continue walking up this alley towards this pink glow, and eventually Heinrich sort of pulls one of the guards to the side who have created a screen themselves, and you see a bizarre scene before you. The very end of this alley is a marking, or some form of markings that are made on the floor with what looks like pinkish chalk that seems to be glowing. And in the centre, there is what is left of a humanoid body. Namely the torso, sort of the top halves of the legs, the thighs if you like, and the arms down to the elbow. You notice that actually the bottom parts of the legs are arranged in this circle, in this this marking in a particular way, as are the other parts of the arms. Make me a medicine check, please, very quickly, as you look down towards this individual.
Thank you. Just getting all my notes in. I'm an investigator, don't you know? So I'm making a medicine check. Beautiful. I'm so glad I gave myself proficiency in that earlier. Oh my god. Good decisions were made. That's a 15.
A 15. You can see the rapid rise and fall of the chest of this individual. They are somehow still alive.
Edgious is going to turn to the guard and be like, "Get a medic, as well as that. Maybe a priest or two."
They are on the way. We have sent word to the hospital, but we have no idea what's going on here. We need somebody with more knowledge of arcane investigation.
Edgious puts a finger to his lips and goes, "Shh, shh, shh, shh. I need absolute silence to investigate a crime scene." And Edgious will walk forward and pull out a pen from the inside pocket of his jacket as he'll walk over to the limbs and poke the limbs first, just to see if there's any like feeling still in them, if they react to being poked.
Are you on about the dismembered limbs, yeah?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Which limb are you poking?
Bottom of the right foot, in like the place that I feel would be most ticklish.
Okay. So as you do that, you notice the right hip of the individual just bucks.
Still connected somehow. Excuse me? Can you hear me? Edgious is going to say down to the body.
You just hear this rapid breathing in and out now.
Okay. Edgious will cross over the marking, making sure not to disturb any of it, and crouch down next to the. Is it? I assume it's a. Is it a male body or do I know?
It's a male body. Is
cool.
Now you get close enough, you recognise this as one of the local merchants. Their name is Poppig. They are just one of the general store merchants in the sort of market district of Union City.
Poppig.
Usually in the Sky Market. Poppig. Popig.
Yeah, cool. Poppig, awesome. Edgious is gonna lean in and say, "Who did this to you?" As he places a hand on the dude's chest. And I'm going to try and do it in like a relaxing way. I'm going to try and like calm whatever like panic is happening here. Through, I was thinking more like medical means of like helping him relax, like trying to find like a spot to like calm him, as opposed to like, a pressure point or something like that.
Well, make me a persuasion check in that sense then.
That's a 17.
17. As you place a hand on this individual's chest, on Poppig's chest, and sort of you feel the rapid rise and fall. And the eyes sort of roll back from where they've rolled back into the skull, and sort of they blink and look towards you.
Man in purple said his name was Clien.
Okay. Edgious is going to... So, two things that I would like to investigate. How much blood has he lost, if any at all, based on this weird dismemberment thing going on? And also the markings or pentagram that he has been formed into along with the pink markings. Do I recognize it, or can I investigate it to try and deduce maybe what the markings are made out of, and then maybe like connect anything that I would know, rituals that would connect with that?
Okay, so I'll say with the first bit around the blood, you see no blood, and it's weird. It's almost like the limbs have been cut and the skin's grown back over where they've been cut. It almost looks like when you pull clay apart and it goes back to just being that smooth end. Make me an Arcana check for the... Yeah.
That's nasty. An Arcana check. Okay. Oh God. That's an 11.
Very good. With an 11 then. You look around, you can see that these have been made out of chalk. There are a number of... It's a big circle with a number of smaller circles and sort of curved lines around it. You're not really sure what they're for.
Okay.
There are still traces of magic, but you do feel like whatever's done here is completed. It's almost like with your Arcana check, it's almost like the magic is slowly fading away.
Edgious at this point in his life has dealt with magical things, but is not personally able to understand that. He's not religious in any sort of way. He has never felt connected to the weave, as he's kind of studied it to be called. This like kind of connection to the flow of magic that scholars speak of, that they say is divided into many different subclasses, but stems back to this kind of weave, and he doesn't have any connection to that. Edgious is going to gently whisper again and just say, "Help's coming. It's on the way. Rest easy, friend."
And as the eyes connect with you for a final time, you watch as the light just goes and fades almost at the same time as the light from this magical circle fades out.
I'm like, "Fuck," and I'll throw my handkerchief to the side. I'll take off my blazer and I'll start doing chest compressions to try and keep him alive.
Very good. So you start doing chest compression. Make me a medicine check, please.
That is a... Listen. Oh, nice. Okay. That's a 18.
18. As you start to do chest compressions, at this point, usually if somebody is sort of fading, the heartbeat is slowing. As your hands connect and now you think about it, despite the rapid breathing, you never felt a heartbeat. And you do these chest compressions, and the body just feels strange, almost too soft. And there is a moment where as you do a chest compression, you just... the chest itself caves in and the body almost melts. And just looks like a deflated balloon.
Edgious will look down at someone who he knew not well, but one who was always cordial with him, someone who, you know, gave him good wares when he needed it, as a merchant. And Edgious's father, who had been a surgeon, wanted Edgious to be a surgeon originally, and he really struggled with the death and the losing people on the table part of being a surgeon. And in his years since then becoming a private eye, he's seen a lot of death. But something deep in his belly churns. He hears almost his own voice as a child as he cried next to his father after losing a young girl who broke her leg on the operating table that he was working on next to his father as he worked on the mother who had been in the same accident. And he stands up, shakes his hands kind of clean of any sinew or anything from the chest, and looks back to Hyric and goes, he's gone. You're gonna need to take this body to the morgue, but I would like you to send word to and Matt, in Union City, is there a area of scholarship? Is there like a school, a university of some sorts here?
There is, if I remember rightly. What is it called? Yes, you would know that up by the Athenair Archives there is not only the Grand Library but also a number of schools and learned areas and learned buildings, if you like. There's a courthouse. You also know it's the location of Sonnetsong Hall, which is more of an art establishment, but it's that area where there is much more intellectual based learning and artistry.
Make sure you get one of the scholars by order of Edgious Jones to inspect the body and give me an assessment of what they feel would have happened here. I'll be checking in with them as soon as I've gathered some extensive information on what is happening here. I'll also provide you with a full report of my findings, as well as then my plan and next steps to deduce what happened here and to prevent it, hopefully, from happening again. Is that clear, Shieldmaster?
Yes, we will try and deal with public with Most respect. I will have messengers sent up to fetch your scholar.
Thank you. Okay. I have somewhere to be, but I will be finding out some more information as I do. I'll send word to you as soon as I know more. You did the right thing contacting me today. And I'll pat the shield master on the shoulder as I walk past him, throwing my suit jacket over my shoulder, and walking out of the alleyway back into the main street.
And you'll see another another shield master, if you like, or another member of the Harmonic Legion comes up and sort of holds their shield over your head.
Please, let me take you home.
And they sort of
Edgious is going to wave him away and just be like, I need a bit of time.
Oh, well, please put jacket on. It is raining felines and canines.
I've never understood that saying. I guess it stems... I heard rumors that it stemmed back to that one time. They say it was like 1,000 years ago when one of the great gods summoned a rain of cats, dogs, wolves, tigers, all manner of feline and canine breeds. Terrifying. Though tonight seems quite nice. I think a walk in the rain will do me some good.
Well, as you wish. Thank you. Hopefully you can help solve this.
Edgious at that point is already walking down the street and kind of raises a hand and is like, kind of like, good day to you, basically, over his shoulder, as in his head, he's thinking, fuck, another one. A fucking another one that said that fucking name. Why is it every place I turn, every corner, every alley, do I hear that fucking name? Who the fuck is Clien? And why is he able to elude me unlike anyone else?
Very good. As you then wander, and I'm assuming at this point you're wandering off to your office.
Yes, I am definitely wandering off to my office indeed.
Very good. So you spend time thinking about everything that's been seen. You get to your office, you make meticulous notes about everything you've seen and sort of wait for the messengers to come back, and eventually you do get introduced to a scholar of the Aetherneer Archive who goes to see if they can find any books that may talk about this spell circle you've sort of roughly sketched out, and show them on the floor once the body of Poppig's been removed. The body itself is examined by the clerics of the local morgue as well, and there is strange magic around it to the point where they actually recommend it get buried outside of the city. They are worried about strange dark taint. And a number of
We're all
weeks
afraid of a
then
strange
pass.
dark taint.
We are all afraid of strange dark taint. A number of weeks then pass, and you've continued these investigations. This is not the first time you've seen a circle like this, and you still haven't been able to figure it out. It's not the first time you've heard the name Clien. You have, in true Edgious style, set up a corkboard with a number of pins and
Of course.
cords and different notes.
I was going to say
around,
that,
and,
dude.
Yeah. I've got to throw it back to campaign 2 somewhere. And as you're in your office one day, sort of sat there, it's mid-afternoonish, yet again, there is a knock at the door.
Edgious will take the cigarette that he has in his mouth. It's a leaf rolled cigarillo that he's smoking. He'll take it, not ash it, and just throw it into a bin that is just brimming with cigarettes already. It's a full like metal trash can that is just filled with cigarettes, kind of giving this room that kind of musty, ashy smell. And Edgious is going to lean back and, in reference to campaign 2, press a button on the floor, unlocking a floor safe, pulling out from in it a folded up pan flute. And he is going to unfold the pan flute and hold it at his side. As in the last couple weeks during the investigations he's been doing, Edgious's paranoia has also begun to grow. You know, Edgious is typically a pretty light-hearted person, but this constant building of this person that seems to almost be mocking him at this point is starting to weigh on him a little bit. So in this paranoia, he holds this unfolded pan flute to his side as he opens the door.
Good. As you open the door, then, Mr. Hodge, what does Edgious see?
You'll see.
Oh, I thought the name of the character was Mr. Hodge.
Oh, I wish. You'll see quite a tall, scrawny, weedy-looking man, quite lanky, quite gangly. Think Eddie Redmayne in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. That sort of vibe. So it looks quite unassumingly shy. Looks a bit awkward in people's presence. And he's kind of standing there a bit sheepishly. And as you open the door, he'll go, "Hello, my boy. Oh, what is that smell? Are you all right? Is something on fire?"
No. Everything's fine. What can I do for you? And you can see Edgious has like two hands on the thing to his side, basically.
I'm ever so sorry to disturb you, but I've come to you with a proposition.
And you are an emissary of yourself or a larger entity?
I'm somewhat of a budding detective myself, and I've been asking about the town, and your name keeps coming up as somebody I should potentially work with, partner with, who may be able to help me with my own investigation. You see, my partner has gone missing. I believe them to be kidnapped, and all roads lead to somebody called Clien. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but whenever I've asked about the town, they said you're the man I need to speak to.
Under his breath, Edgious grumbles. It's Clien.
Yes, that's the one. I've created my own little dossier of my investigation so far, and I'm hoping we could compare notes and maybe hopefully make some progress together.
Do you pull a whole corkboard out from the side of frame that you actually wield with you?
It's like a shit lever arch folder.
Okay,
that
nice.
Yeah. Primer's gone. Yeah.
Amazing. Edgious is gonna look him up and down. Matt, do I recognize this person as another detective?
Not. By looks, they certainly seem to wear the same garb as other detectives you've seen. There's nothing to indicate that they're a soldier or anything like that. You wouldn't recognise them by looking at them as another detective that you would know, necessarily.
Cool. Next question then. May I please make an insight check to discern whether this person has good intentions, true intentions, bad intentions? Is that all right?
Absolutely. Make me an insight check.
As I look deep into the young lad's eyes and roll a dirty 20, a flaccid 20, and look into the young lad's eyes and say, "Oh yeah, that's interesting timing."
Why? Do you have a positive lead?
Well, no, but I've got a lot of pieces of a puzzle, and they always say you start with the corner pieces first, and I feel like I'm missing just one final corner piece that will allow me to just start building those edges before then filling in the center of the meat of the problem at hand. I'm getting off track. Who are you?
That metaphor ran away with you slightly there, didn't it? But I think I know what you're saying. I'm hoping that you can actually fill in the pieces of my puzzle that I'm missing. I worry that the longer he is missing, the closer he is to death. I'm verging on desperate, some might say.
And your name?
Sorry, how rude of me. My name is Calvin.
Calvin. Interesting. Matt, anything on the insight?
On the insight, you sort of listen to this story. It's seems pretty straight-laced. There's no obvious deceptions or half-truths or anything like that you can pick up on.
Edgious will nod the boy in and open the door, standing to the side, now holding the unfolded pan flute like behind his back a little bit as he holds the door open and ushers the young lad in.
Very good.
Thank you ever so much. Where do we begin? Like I said, you're the more experienced detective. I'm still probably somewhat as a novice compared to your skill.
I like you complimenting me. Let's keep that going, for a starter. Secondly, come here. I'm curious your thoughts on what I have, but then I would like to question you. I'm at some length. It might take us a couple of hours, but it will aid me in my process.
Of course.
Edgious will lead him into the stale smoke smelling room where you got that smell, and you'll see a desk with a chair, like a red leather chair behind it, and then across the room from that you can see a corkboard with lots of different bits of string connecting, all these drawings and images and like sketches from witnesses who have seen what they think this person looked like, and various different bits of bobs all across the wall, and he'll gesture and be like, what do you make of any of that, based on your knowledge of this Clien?
Corkboard. Why didn't I think of that? This folder is quite hard to picture all at once. I have to lay out all the pages on the floor. Corkboard. See, I'm learning already. What description do you have of? Yeah, I lay it all out on the floor, and then I stand on a chair so I can see it from a bird's eye view. And I feel like looking down at it from that perspective helps me picture it, almost like, a higher being trying to focus. It seems to help with my process anyway.
Edgious at that moment has a flashback to the first year he was a detective, and it's him stood on top of a chair looking at a floor of papers, going, fuck, man, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. If he was over here, but he was over here, and they corroborate the story. And he snaps back and he goes, yeah, I would never do something like that. As you said, experience really pays off.
Yeah. I've noticed you have a description of the Clien there. Should we see if it matches my description from my witness reports? Should we try and corroborate evidence?
That sounds like a good place to start.
So I have Clien as a quite a short, portly man. What have you got?
I have him as described as an Adonis, muscular, toned, chiseled features.
Eyes? What colour?
Purple, always. It's the one consistent across all the description.
I have purple. Tick. I have that one eye is slightly crossed. Do you have that?
I have one that says both eyes are crossed, another that says one eye was crossed, another says that one was just a lazy eye, another one says that they had a stigma, The other one had 2 eyes, but then a third eye as well that was also purple.
So we've established his eyes are purple. Other than that, right? Okay. You have him as a magic user. Is that the correct term?
Arcanist, I believe, is the term you're looking for.
Pretty powerful from what I hear.
Yeah.
Whoa, I did a little shiver. I was like, it gets the heebie-jeebies.
I've heard the same thing. But some sort of magic that's not common. It's not elemental in nature or that of learned knowledge. Apparently it's not connected to any... It doesn't seem like it's connected to any sort of divine right as far as the descriptions that I've seen and what I've deduced from speaking to scholars, but
that is ungodly irony now of gifts bestowed upon people by the divine. That's my experience of magic. You know, like high priests and religious warriors, that sort of thing.
Yeah, never trust those ones. Never trust those ones. But I do. Yeah. He's a problem. Look, let me ask you some questions, as it seems like we're both being led in circles by whatever this Clien person or whatever they are. When did your colleague go missing?
He's actually my lover, and he's been missing 5 days now.
I misunderstood the partner you said earlier. I thought they were your partner in detecting, not your partner in detecting love in each other.
I didn't mean to mislead. It's just that where I'm from, our sort of love is frowned upon. So I'm worried that some people may have been his accomplice in helping with his kidnapping. Because I also hear that he has a network of accomplices who do his bidding.
Yes, the Conclave. Yes, I've heard about them too. So when did your lover, do they have a name? I'd rather not call them your lover.
Reginald. He's quite handsome, and I'll show you like a old school 1800s photograph type thing of him.
You see a photograph of Calvin, and Reginald just stood there, straight, no smiles.
Nice. Nice, man. Nice, real nice. Wow, you can really see the joy in both of your faces in that photo. It is truly just beaming from both of you. I've never seen a photo looking so... sorry. I'm sure this is hard for you. So how many days has it been? Or hours? Minutes?
5 days now. 5 days, 4 hours, 3 minutes.
5 days, 4 hours, 3 minutes. 543. Okay. And do you know where they were last seen? Do you have any witness accounts of when they were last? Like, were you the last person to see them, or was anyone else?
Well, I said goodbye to him in the morning as he was going about his errands, and we visit the same shops, we frequent the same market stalls. So he went about his daily business and then just never came home. The old cliche, went out for milk and never came home. What is suspicious is other members of our community, shall we say, have also gone missing recently, which led me to believe that it's linked, and I'd started my investigation prior to my lover going missing himself, so I think it might all be connected.
Your community is in
any recent
the borough from which you come?
No, the gay community.
Oh, my apologies. Yes. Well, that's
I
absolutely
hear one of them
awful.
showed up in an alley a few weeks ago.
Poppig.
Yes.
A friend, well, acquaintance of mine, someone who often would give me a good deal on a bottle of brandy for a cheap number of gold. So they've been missing for 5 days. They went out on their errands, and I assume in the investigator that you are, you've gone to every one of the local shops that you frequent, and you've asked them
Yes.
if
Yeah, I
anything
have all the
happened
witness
in each
statements
store.
here, and I'll just like be shoving papers in your face.
Edgious will just be like, yeah, okay. And we'll start reading through the witness accounts, trying to piece together, kind of like almost thinking about in his head. Edgious imagines it in his mind as almost like a blank, flat, almost like net of digital like landscape, basically. And then when Calvin said Reginald's name, a little like beeper appeared on that like plane, basically. He then mentions that they left the house, so a little house grows on that plane in Edgious's mind. And he imagines Reginald walking out the street from Calvin, and then he sees, in his mind, the path he takes to the first fruit and veg store, then the path he takes to the next place, and almost begins building this kind of path in his mind on this, like, almost, what's called, not limitless space, but like a ethereal space in his mind, basically, his mind palace as such. So, after going there, the reports say that he simply vanished.
Yep, that's as much as I can understand. It'd be just without a trace. I can't explain it.
Okay. Edgious is gonna put those on the cork board, kind of like in the order of how they would have gone. I'm gonna be like, can you please give me the location of where all of your other comrades have gone missing? The last places that they were seen.
Would you like me to mark them on your map there?
That would be phenomenal.
So I'll be flicking through my Lever Arch folder, and then I'll be marking on the map with the names of the people if I did know their names, or what I know them as, whether that be nickname, just
Totally.
first name.
And what you begin to see is something of a pattern form, that a lot of this seems to be concentrated where it is in the city, at least, around the middle tier and bleeding into the lower tier. Doesn't seem to necessarily head up into the higher tier of Union City. Calvin does, however, put a couple of dots also in sort of neighbouring cities as well. So out into Dryamere and some down into Kedmere as well. And then there's almost like this little trail, if you like, that begins to form, that links Union City to Dryamere and then to Kedmere on the map as well.
Can Edgious, as he lights another cigarette, even though the last one was barely half smoked, can he make anything of these witness accounts, the path that Reginald took, the various different points of anything? Is there anything that Edgious can, like, as he's looking at it all, kind of begins kind of forming in his mind as he's starting to see this pattern? Is it like an area thing? Is it a similar type of victim? Like, obviously homosexual now seems like one of the larger, like, unifying factors of what we know. Is there anything else that seems to be unifying these people?
What's strange for you, Edgious, is that you'd not made that link between members of the sort of LGBT community. individuals you'd sort of heard about, you weren't even aware whether they identified. Some of these individuals had families, and you now start to, I don't know, maybe Eddie starts to think maybe there's some double lives involved, but this
Totally, 100%.
angle that Calvin's brought is almost a little bit left field.
Okay. I don't know what his... There's a pattern here. I'm trying to just piece the pattern together. As he blows smoke onto the map, liking it like pillows outwards. Calvin, has Reginald been involved in any sort of nefarious things recently? Any sort of dealings with folks that are unseemly? People who might want to do him harm? Does he have any enemies? Is there anyone who might want to do him harm for something that he might have done in his past?
Other than every bigot in Union City, I'm not quite sure. I'm not aware of him joining any cults or anything like that, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
As far as I knew, he was a respecting member of the community, liked by his friends, not into anything strange, as far as I'm concerned, or knew about. But you know this pattern on the map? It looks like it's spreading from Union City. Do you think that means Clien may be moving out of Union City and branching across? Do you think we're too late and we've missed him and he's already gone?
It's not a bad catch, Rook. But I'm starting to think something else. All these different descriptions, all these different locations spreading wide. You mentioned yourself the Conclave. I myself know of the Conclave. I believe, from what I'm starting to see, that whoever this Clien person is not the one committing the crimes. I have a feeling that he's the ringleader, forcing others to do his bidding, and is now spreading his ideologies and goals wider than Union City, though it seems from the evidence that we have in front of us that we are right bang smack in the fucking epicenter. So my guess is that somewhere in the city that ringleader sits.
Well, you mentioned a network, and that was one of my lines of inquiry too. And I thought, how can somebody be in so many places at once, and how can Reginald just disappear into thin air? So I was asking more learned folk into divine and magic, and one of the things that I was giving as something that may help as like a journal or a tome. I'm not quite sure what you call it. But somebody said he might be able to travel through. What's the, like a circle that you can travel, a magical circle you can travel through.
Oh,
and I thought,
Matt, you devious fuck. What's that book called? It looks familiar.
Hang on, let me, and I'll blow the dust off and I'll pass it to you. It means nothing to me, that's all.
I assume what I'm holding in my hand is Lex's book.
It's very similar. It's not exactly the same, but yeah, it's very, very similar.
You're right. You're right. It's he's using portals.
That's the word. That's what somebody said.
This is a planar guide. It's a planar guide to portals. This and Edgious leafs through it. I read this when I was at university myself. It was a line of inquiry back when I was a little bit more free, and Edgious thinks back to a version of himself doing some hacky sack in like a drug rug poncho at university, as he was a little bit more into like the mystical and weird and wonderful in his younger years. And he's like, I read the book once. This strange magic. Fuck! You see him throw the cigarette, still full, into the bin as it continues to burn next to the other one that he threw in. Of course, it all makes sense now. The magic that we can't pinpoint isn't from our plane. How could we understand the arcane that does not exist within our world? Calvin, it's been there the whole time. Edgious walks around the room, hands on his head.
But it sounds like we have a lead, yes?
Not a lead as such, but it gives us an idea. It gives us a place where we can begin looking. And Edgious turns, grabs his jacket off the back of the chair, pulls it on, goes to walk out the door, stops. Not facing Calvin, but says out loud, "Look, boy, who you love is who you love. That's the most important thing. Nothing else matters. Fuck what everyone else says." And then he gestures with his hand and goes, "Come on, we've got someone to speak to," and walks out of the office.
Very good. Then, as the
I'll follow
two of you
along like a
exit
dog.
out of the office, you sort of travel around now, and we'll probably come back to you speak to in a bit, but just to sort of do another little bit of a time jump here as well. You continue your investigations into Clien, and sort of some mini investigations begin to splinter off into other missing persons cases. And there's a moment, Edgious, where in one particular case you manage to get down into a basement underneath a tavern, and Calvin accidentally sets off one of the traps, and unfortunately the victim catches the edge of an explosion and is disfigured. The two of you feel really guilty after that you couldn't quite save the person totally. They're still there, but they'll never be the same again. Eventually, you two are in the office, and Kalila and Heron pop by every now and again. Calvin, you get introduced to Edgious' family. You see,
starts coming around for dinner. He starts coming around for dinner and becomes like a brother to me, becomes like my little brother, and we start like really. There's he's asking me questions. We're bonding in that super way, and I imagine like Kalila starting to know his food likings. She knows he doesn't like mushrooms, so she makes a bowl without mushrooms for him. You know, that kind of vibe. Sorry.
Absolutely. No, 100%. And you sort of see the genius that. You see the genius that is Heron, and this caring but strong woman in Kalila, who is very much the bedrock for Edgious' life, allows Edgious to go out and do what he needs to do, and it makes you yearn for home, makes you yearn for that what you did have with Reginald, who is still missing. Who would you have wanted to go speak to in that moment then, Edgious?
The darkest, most sinister, evil, vindictive bitch that I know, who also happens to be a person of great esteem in the city of Union City, who also gave Edgious his badge and title within the city and the ability to proceed doing the detective work that he does, and that would be Mara Blackveil.
Nice.
Well, not quite Mara Blackveil, but her mother, Mara Blackveil
Indeed.
Senior.
The first.
What is it? Is it still called Senior when it's a lady?
I don't know. We're going with it. I don't know.
It's Senora.
Correct me if you want.
It's Senora.
Senora. So you do go and see Mara Blackveil, and what time are we at? No, yeah, she's still sort of around. She's sort of 30 years old, sort of in the prime of her life. She's not long taken over the Blackveil house, and she does use your services, Edgious, to help her sort of protect the city, and you manage to use her whisper networks and pieces like that. She starts to put feelers out for anything for you and starts to work with you. You discuss the planar energies and the planar arcane abilities that seem to have been used, and it's not really her bag. But just the espionage of it all, the subterfuge, irritates her. The fact that somebody's able to operate in the city almost unseen, and that doesn't happen on the Blackveil Watch. They are known to be that intelligence network, and the lack of intelligence here just irks her so much. You continue your investigations. There is another investigation where you are on a kidnap case, which is you didn't think was linked at the time, but then maybe there was a subtle hint that maybe it's linked. And yet again, you descend into this subterranean area. You have to actually climb through part of the sewers and into this subterranean area, which is an old ruin of maybe an old part of the city from eons ago. And as you get down there, a room fills with gas. Someone triggered something somewhere, and you both have to sort of cough and splutter your way out. And once the gas clears and you head back in, the people that were kidnapped, that were still bound, they are dead. But what you notice is that they were dead before you even went in there.
Ah.
No.
Okay.
But all of them were dead before you even went down there. The gas was just almost a trap laid for maybe you. Then there is a moment. A period of time where one afternoon you are both in the office, deep in research, found some more books on planar magics, and tried to find some whispers on the conclave or this particular organisation. And there is a knock at the door.
Calvin, get that, will you?
Of course. I'll jump up straight to the door.
Very good. You jump up straight to the door, and there is an individual that looks at you. And it is one of the other nobles of the city, actually. It looks like maybe one of the Durnfords has turned up and said, Calvin, isn't it?
Yes, sir. And I'll do a little bow, recognising who it is.
I was hoping to see you. You made some inquiries about some individuals that had gone missing. We found some records that might be of use to you, so we can't bring them down because they're sort of in one of our chained books that's in the libraries, but I figured it might be something you're interested in.
Edgious, in his like slick leather shoes that have those like flat wooden bottoms, comes sliding out of the office into the hallway, holding both his and Calvin's jacket as he slams into the hallway wall in like a rush of excitement, throws his jacket on and hands it to Calvin and goes, "You heard the man, Calvin. Come on, let's go." And leads
behind the man.
I'll lock up, and I'll be locking the door.
Very good. Behind the man is another man, this time one of the members of the Harmonic Legion, and they just sort of look at you and just, you are, I was hoping to actually speak to you, my
Heinrich,
sister.
a pleasure to see you again.
Yes, my sister is missing. I was hoping you could help.
Edgious looks at Calvin. That's the fucking fourth one this week.
I'll take his statement as we're following the noble.
Well, there's strange markings in her room.
Did you want me to go with him while you go with check out the books, or?
Edgious is gonna look at the noble and look back at them and be like, Sir Durnford, sir, your honorable high prince, would you be willing to follow myself, this exquisite shield master here, and my colleague to his partner's house quickly before we then make your way to your study?
It's quite time sensitive.
I brought this to your attention so you could go and I have trying to run the city here, honestly.
Where do I need to go then? Where do we need to go?
Well, so it's back up at the Durnford estate.
Cool,
Okay.
amazing. Well, you tell
Just
your,
leave us
you
with
tell
something
your,
like you've sent us, and we'll go after we've helped.
Get your high porters to allow us entry upon our arrival. We will be there within the hour.
I figured this was urgent, but okay. Messenger boy of the noble now.
Edgious turns to Heinrich and gives him like a knowing look. You know, this is someone who Edgious has worked with on multiple cases. You know, it's often a gentleman that he engages with when he's handing information over to the Harmonic Legion, and so yeah, he's like, okay, friend, let's go take a look at that room.
Please follow me.
You are led down into the lower tier to a simple sort of stone hut of sorts, still in keeping with that human, elven, and Norse architecture, if you like, but very, very simple. Sort of a thatched roof, if you like, with some vines weaving through it. You can see one of the windows, the shutters, is actually hanging off. The door is open, and he just looks at you and says,
I won't set foot inside after seeing markings, but this was how I found.
Shit! I forgot the book of arcane circles. We'll need it for reference. I'll just run and get it. You start. I'll be back. Sorry, I'll be back. And I'll sheepishly run out to go get it. Because he mentioned there was an arcane circle, right?
Edgious will grab Calvin's arm and look him in the eyes and be like, remember the training we've been doing? And Edgious gestures to a pan flute similar to his own on the hip of Calvin as well. Remember the training we've been doing? Watch your back. And I think I've got something. Another unifying factor. Something for you to think about on your journey. I'd like your conclusion when you get back. All of the victims are of low to middle tier of both wealth and importance within the city. On top of that, we can see a lot of the community of which you are part of partaking. It seems to me that whoever's doing this is taking care of people who they believe might not be missed.
Yeah, so you're saying it might be nobles. It might be one of the noble families.
I'm saying that whoever's doing this doesn't care about the poor, clearly, or those who are oppressed. Now
Okay, there's a lot to
go, Calvin.
There's a lot to stew on. Okay, sorry, yeah. I'll sprint off.
Edgious will turn back to Heinrich and go, I'll take a look, friend, and we'll go into the house.
very good. You go into the house then, and as you go into the house again, you can see that subtle pink glow of chalked markings on the floor. All of the furniture has been dragged to the edge of the room. It is sort of a single room building, if you like. So while there is a stove and a fireplace, the beds have been moved to the corner, all the chairs, the tables, the bookshelves that they had, everything has been moved to the outside. And the floor where this circle is ridiculously clean. Like, there's no dust, no footprints, no markings. Inside that spell circle, the stone almost looks like it's been polished. And outside, literally outside where the line ends, you see the standard dust you'd get in a building like this.
Arcane blast of some sorts. Clearly, when whatever happened here happened, it moved all the furniture out of the way. Cleared all the dust. Edgious is gonna walk over into the center of the circle and begin kind of looking around, trying to take in anything in the room that is different to the usual pentagrams that he's seen, the usual like mandalas that he's seen in this arcanic thing. Anything from this crime scene that stands out different or the same to the others would be what he's looking for, essentially.
Make me an investigation check then, please.
Oh yeah, I'd love to make an investigation check. Let's go. Give me a big one. Oh, nat 20.
Oh, nice.
Plus 7. 27.
So you look around, and this spell circle still feels warm. Like, this didn't happen very long ago. You also notice a mirror that is out of place on a chair. And it's upside down, so the reflective surface is down against the chair.
Is that it? I'm terrified. Oh my god. Edgious is going to it's still warm. Edgious in his head is going to be like, he has to still be within. How long? That's a question. With my nat 20, do I know how long it's been since whatever magic happened here happened?
Yeah, with your nat 20 and having gone around multiple of these crime scenes now and sort of got a flavour, and you've seen bodies, you've experienced similar to what happened with Poppig again, and different things as well, where it's almost like there was a body half melted into the floor as well. You reckon you are maybe an hour after the event.
Edgious does some very quick math in his head to deduce how far the average person could move if they were on foot. And then he assumes, though he's not 100% sure, because even the book that that his new partner brought to him is good. It gives information. It doesn't tell you how far these portals can lead and where one might come out. So he just assumes that, you know, they can times it by X amount, and that will be kind of a vague radius that they should begin looking in. He shouts to Heinrich, you need to make a perimeter. Search for anyone with purple eyes in this radius. And he gives him that figure, that number, basically, and tells him to go instruct the Harmonic Legion to do so. As he shouts, out the door to the guard that's outside.
Puts his helmet back on, sort of swings his shield over his shoulder, and disappears out into the afternoon. You see him sort of corralling a number of guards, and then there's this steady patrol that begins sort of around the outside, and they go into houses as well.
Edgious will still be stood in the room, begin talking to himself out loud. And he'll be like, Clien. Where the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? And fucking why? If I knew the why, the other two wouldn't even matter. I can jump straight to the source. And it just begins to pace. Where are you hiding? What are you hiding? And why do you want me to know? Why do you keep putting it in the forefront of my fucking life? It's like you're speaking to me, trying to send me a message. Edgious walks over to the mirror, and as he does so, he goes to like touch it and moves slowly as he does go to touch it.
Very good. You touch
Edgious
the handle
grabs
of the mirror.
Cool.
Nothing
I will lift it to show myself in the mirror.
Very good. As you lift and look in this mirror then, the minute your eyes catch your own, there is a flash of purple light. I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh, Matt. Oh, golly, now I'm really scared for what this is. Oh, no. Oh, fuck, dude. If this is going the way that I think it's going, oh, golly, I'm scared. Okay, so that is, so you want a Arcana check, did you say?
Wisdom saving throw, please.
Wisdom saving throw. Oh, that's so much worse. Oh, that's so bad. That's a 19.
19. It's almost like your mind is just assaulted with images and energies to the point where you just black out. And you just drop. The last thing you hear is maybe the faint smashing sound of the mirror.
Of the mirror, as I drop it, yeah.
And you spend time in this strange dream state where sorry, I get a message from my wife in the background there. This strange dream state where you and Heron and Kalila are sort of enjoying being a family, and you're playing with Heron, you've built in the puzzle box, those dinners that you sat and had together, the dinners that you had with Calvin as well. And then there's a moment where you just feel yourself shaken, and Heinrich's there. Edgious, wake up, wake up.
What happened? Where's the... What happened?
How long have you been lying here?
Edgious, like, looks around. Where is he?
You are in the same room.
Okay.
You're in Heinrich's
Cool.
house. And Heinrich's
Cool.
sort of shaking, but what you now notice is there is pale moonlight shining through the window.
Edgious blocks the moonlight with his hand. He like sits up and begins rubbing the side of his head as clearly on the way down he hit his head on the hard polished stone floor earlier. I don't remember. I picked up a... Where's Calvin?
Calvin? No. But he's not returned.
He said he was going to be back straight away. Edgious looks at him and almost like in unison, I assume him and Heinrich make the same connection and assumption. Something's happened. Something's happened to fucking Calvin if he's not come back.
Very good.
Edgious will stand up and look to see if the mirror is in the room still.
The mirror is on the floor. Smashed.
The mirror. Can I pick up a
Glass.
shard? Can I pick up a shard of that mirror and stuff it into my pocket?
You absolutely can. So you take that shard and sort of place it into your pocket. The two of you then exit out of your building and think, where would Calvin have gone? And to go get that book, well, that would be back at the office. So you run back up through the streets, and when you get to the office, the sight you see takes you by surprise. The doors are blown open, the windows smashed. Your corkboard when you go in is actually snapped in half, and there's bits everywhere. There's what looks like blood on the floor, maybe scrape marks, Your desk is turned upside down. Your safe, however, not discovered.
I'll go over to the safe and check in it to make sure all the things that are still there.
So as you do sort of press the button and go and sort of enter the safe and see the pieces there, they are still there.
What is in the safe, Matt, as I look down in this version of the safe?
In this version of the safe, you've got a number of bags of coins.
Yeah.
Some photos of your family.
Yeah.
A lot of the evidentiary pieces that you've kept and sort of had over time. You've used this as your evidence store as well. So there's notes, there's bits of folded up paper, there's fibers and different pieces all in bags that you've collected.
I'd like to add the scalpel that he used when he was a child to try and save that young girl, and he's kept it as a memento from his time training as a surgeon underneath his father.
Excellent.
Cool. Edgious will close the safe, and will then. Can I see? Is there any sign that shows where Calvin might have gone? Is there like any drag marks? Is the back door busted open? Is there any footprints? Is there a pink circle on the ground?
So all the doors are busted in. All the windows are busted in. There is like a drag mark across the center of the floor that disappears, and there is a little bit of blood around there. You do a quick perimeter of the office, but any footprints that would have been there are taken up by all of the other footprints that are around. It is at this moment that your neighbor comes running up to you. And what's your neighbor's name?
My neighbor is called Dalinar. Dalinar Colon.
Dalinar Colon comes running up to you then, and they are pale. Their face is pale, their eyes are wide, and they just... Edgious, you need to come home.
I've got to deal with... Can you not see the disaster that I'm currently already dealing with, Dalinar?
Edgious, you need to come home now.
Why is your tone so exasperated? Why are you sweating?
Something has happened. I need you to come home, Edgious.
Well, I can't just leave my office in such a state, Dalinar. I have matters to attend to. I can look for your cat
Edgious.
another day.
I need you to go home.
Okay. What's happened?
And you can see he's just struggling to find any words at this point.
Again, Edgious makes a connection through body language. And he drops whatever's in his hand and just begins running. As he's running, the rain begins to pour down on him, and he, as he's running, the weight of his jacket in the rain is becoming too much. And even though it's not that heavy, the claustrophobia of wearing something wet and tight on his body begins festering in his mind as he runs, breathes, trying to grasp for air, with raindrops falling into his mouth as he does so. And he's going to take the jacket off and leave it in the street as he splashes through puddles towards his house.
And as you splash through these puddles, you can hear Dalinar, I think it was Dalinar we said behind you, sort of trying to keep up. And as you get to your house, it's still, it's silent. The door is open. Not damaged, just open.
It just leaps the 3 stairs of his porch in one leap. Runs, hands then on the doorframe, head into the door. And he's like, Kalila! Kalila, are you here?
Silence.
He rushes in to the living room, as it's the first room on his right. Again, Kalila!
Go into the living. As you go into the living room, there was a moment where you just stop. Time stands still for Edgious in this moment. You see Kalila sat in a chair, but she's too still. You see Heron lied on the floor, but he is too still.
Edgious, almost as if hit by a wave of energy, stops and kind of looks at them. He doesn't need to check, though he's going to. He takes a step forward, and the adrenaline mixed with instant heartbreak and despair makes him almost take a step, almost like he's intoxicated. He kind of wobbles for a second, looking at them, places a hand on his head, and begins just sobbing as tears begin falling from his eyes. He turns around to turn back and look at them. He's like, no. I can't breathe. No. And he runs over to Kalila and places his hands, what I assume, upon her cold body.
Her body is cold. You don't see any injuries, though, as you do sort of hold her and lay her down and just rock her there. There's no clear injuries at all. There's no blood, no wounds. It's almost like the life has just gone from her.
Edgious holds his wife's head to his, sobbing, the tears falling onto her cold, lifeless face, as he just goes, who will care? You can't go. You can't. You can't leave me. You can't do it. As he lays his wife's head onto the ground, he crawls over to his son and holds his prodigy's head in his hand. You see him choke up and begin to just burn inside. A fire begins to grow and ignites within him. Not a normal fire, not one that one would see on the average sconce of a house, not the fire that one would see licking from a candle, but a shadowy, dark flame ignites within Edgious at that moment, as he looks at the emerald eyes that his son has, resembling his own. And he just whispers, I'm not ready for this. As he sobs, holding his child.
As you hold your wife, you hold your child, and you just sob, you hear footsteps running behind you. Calvin comes skidding into the house and stops.
You're muted.
You're muted, Danny.
That was good acting as well.
That really was good acting.
have to do
Roll
it
it
again.
back, do it again.
I'm going to have to... Tell me I'm not too late. And then I'll see what's happened in the room. And then I'll just drop to my knees. I'm sorry I couldn't be here.
Where were you? Where were you?
Did you not see what happened at the office? I barely escaped my own life.
But where were you? You loved
I don't
them
know where
like
I
I
was.
loved them.
I had a bag over my head. I escaped from somewhere.
You let me be knocked unconscious? You let our whole work estate be destroyed. And now my boy. My fucking boy. This is on you. This is on you. You should have been there for me, Calvin. You said you would always be there for me, and I promised I would be there for you. From the start. Where were you?
And I'll do that thing, you know, when somebody doesn't want a cuddle and you have to force them into it, and then they can sob on you. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to try and do that.
Edgious just begins crying. He's like, why? Why?
And the shouts go out, the cries into the night. And that, my friends, is where we are going to take a short break. So, well done, my friends. Top first half. And what a place to end. Cool. Yes, I hope you've enjoyed part 1. Please stick around. There is much more to come in this little one-shot. And yes, I don't think there's anything else I need to say. I just need to now go and find the button. So yeah,
Goodbye,
I need to
bear with
recover.
me just a second.
I need to recover emotionally for the next 5 minutes. I'm watching that.
Yeah, same.
Top first half.
Dave! Mr.
I was going to say, I'll message Mr. Wizard in the background about how we go to break. I will say, while we're just waiting for that anyway, and Dave can let me know when he's back, a number of days do pass. A number of weeks begin to pass as well. Edgious, you descend into this singular mindset.
Focus. Yep.
I am going to find him.
Yep.
Calvin works diligently alongside you, but Calvin, you can see Edgious has descended into this shadow of a man that he was before. But eventually, between the two of you, you start to uncover more clues.
Can I throw
more
something in there?
hints. You can.
Edgious, as he descends a little bit more into this kind of chaos and madness, this obsession, he starts bridging from this detective looking to help a young lad who's come asking for his help, a merchant friend who he once had, a community of people oppressed by those with smaller minds than others. And he begins taking on almost like anti-hero kind of vibes. Almost vigilante type situations. You know, Calvin, you find Edgious breaking into places unlawfully, beating people up for information, enacting lawless judgment upon those who stand in his way on his journey towards Clien. And the respect for the intelligent, wise, educated, put together, sometimes charismatic Edgious Jones that you had known begins to drift into something else.
Very good. And that then is where we will take our break. So, that being said, we've already done this, but yeah, we will see you in a few minutes. So thank you, Danny, thank you, Bodhi. Top first half. We will be back shortly.
Hello? Are you there? It's Amelia. The secrets of the Wandering Tavern are coming for me. I know too much. And now, so will you. The Wandering Tavern is 15 layers of corruption, gambling, exotic restaurants, hotels, expansive workstations, and buzzing accommodations. Amongst these are 23 unique locations that range from lavish establishments down to the city's seedy underbelly. But don't worry, I've got detailed battle maps of the entire floating metropolis, so all you players and GMs can find your way around. Within the bustle of this colossal airship, deadly secrets plague the air. Luckily, I was able to collect scathing testimonies from over 30 NPC patrons and staff while evading the grasp of the ruthless Claw militia. These testimonies were laced with 30 interconnected plot hooks. It all seems to be linked. The unsolved disappearance of the engineering team, the Claw Mafia's black market empire, the automaton mutiny brewing in the depth, and even the lingering spirits of the deceased. Oh, I didn't mention that. As the sun sets, shadowy forms seep from dark corners to materialise throughout the Wandering Tavern. Hold tight to your wards as spirits roam, looking for answers, a quiet conversation, or their next victim. But don't despair. There's still plenty to enjoy if you become marooned here. I've eaten sensational food, found a myriad of powerful items, won games of chance, and delighted in the tavern's vibrant festivities. However, if you do need a quick getaway, there are 6 unique plug-and-play airships with more than 50 parts and stations to facilitate your escape. The Wandering Tavern can be an entire campaign setting, or simply dropped into your current world. I'm so glad to have been able to collaborate with some of our favourite creators, who have kindly gifted me with many add-ons and trinkets to expand your adventure even further. So, climb aboard, if you dare. Back the Wandering Tavern Kickstarter, out now.
Adventurers, prepare to encounter Tabletop, the platform designed with clarity of purpose to elevate your online role-playing experience beyond the limitations of conventional tools, opening immersive, engaging, remote role-playing to everyone. Tabletop is a toolset thoughtfully crafted to optimize the mechanics of your gaming adventure, making the intricate details effortless. For the game masters, prepare to play more and prep less. We've developed a suite of tools specifically designed to handle the busy work, allowing you to focus on creating immersive stories and unforgettable experiences for your players. Whether you're a first-time game master or a seasoned veteran, our tools are geared to impress players, streamline gameplay, and enhance your creative process. Discover unique features designed to enrich both map-based and theater of the mind play, helping you craft vivid, unforgettable narratives. Furthermore, breathe life into your settings with Game Master-controlled video backgrounds and effects, enabling you to make your players feel as if they're truly part of the world you've created. AI-powered transcriptions, voice notes, and automatic summaries help provide continuity throughout your campaign. During both prep and play, Merlin, the magical AI assistant, will answer campaign and rules questions, automate setup, and turn you into an instant tabletop power user. As for the players, we've embraced the roleplay element like never before. With Tabletop, you can instantly immerse yourself in the game with zero learning curve, using nothing but a web browser. We believe in preserving the genuine essence of role-playing. This isn't a video game, but an authentic online role-playing experience. Step into the world of virtual cosplay and be your character. Choose an existing augmented reality avatar, or create your own by combining and adjusting our video filters for nearly infinite customization. Enjoy a minimalist, functional virtual tabletop that enhances social engagement, letting you focus on the narrative and camaraderie that are at the heart of every adventure. Tabletop isn't just an upgrade, it's a game changer. Prepare to experience role-playing reimagined.
Hey yo! We are back. There's a face, Bodhi. I'm clipping that just for that face.
I mean, your cum face was
Amazing stuff.
unnecessary for the restart, but all right.
Oh, sorry. You can go now, Calvin. Goodbye.
That's how the relationship's deteriorated then. Fantastic. So, yes, before we get back into part 2, I will repeat this at the end, but next week, of course, we will be running an extra special episode of Malt and Magic, even more special, I think, than the Origins, because for the first time we are running not our own stuff, but a one-shot developed by the Mystic Quill. So we are doing their live preview playthrough of their new adventure module, the Book of Life and Death, which is very exciting.
No pressure.
Nikki is sending me more materials. The story's awesome. It's a lot of fun. We are going to have to cut some bits out of it just to squeeze the time in, but proving to be very entertaining. So do not miss that next week. But as for this week, then, following Edgious's soul-wrenching experiences over the last few weeks, he descends into this almost rage, but it's a quiet brooding. Starts to lose a bit of a sense of morality. Does what needs to be done in the moment. Between the two of you, you dive deeper than ever before into this investigation, spending almost tireless, sleepless nights combing through every single little bit of evidence. Anything you wish to do in this moment?
I suppose what I will say is, as Edgious descends more into vigilante mode, there'll be. I mean, Calvin stopped trying to stop. He's stopped trying to prevent the descent now. He's a lost cause, Edgious. He's going to be what he's going to be. But we're still on our joint mission. We've made a promise to each other. But what you will notice is Calvin will tend to follow leads on his own sometimes now, for fear of what Edgious might do. So he will go off, come back, not necessarily tell Edgious what he's been doing either, because for fear of the wrath. So there's a little bit of, I suppose, a wedge driving between you now.
Yeah. I would say as well, during that time, Edgious buried his wife and son in the back garden of his family home, where their gravestones where their gravestones remain until present day. I think I love what Danny said. That's exactly what I was picturing as well. Like Edgious just becomes more fanatical, more like reckless and wild, and it feels like Calvin remains motivated by Reginald. Like it remains that almost like you managed to keep that like light of hope almost, where Edgious is just none of that exists anymore. It's just a shadowy flame burning within. And Edgious doesn't know that Calvin is doing these things because he's so fucking enveloped in his own ego and bullshit to see anything but that. So very much, Calvin is getting away with this stuff frequently. That's what I would add.
So, Edgious just singularly focused on these investigations. Calvin, you sort of now drop in and drop out. You do continue on these side investigations, if you like. But at this moment, Edgious, you almost feel people's attitudes towards you begin to change. In those moments where morality slips, the reliance on you to go and do the right thing and a good job in investigating begins to slip. And people turn away from you. And only on the rare moments do you get a job that is outside of this singular investigation. But you go through those investigations and you do what has to be done. You don't care who gets hurt at this point anymore.
Yep.
Anything to add?
I think at a certain point, Edgious starts realizing that this is the last path. He knows that at the end of this, whatever the outcome, that he's either going to be in fucking jail for a very long time, or he's going to die trying to do what he promised himself on that day when he walked in to find his wife and son dead. So, dude, he just becomes more and more of a recluse. Like, just goes within himself. He doesn't need others. Fine, it's okay. I imagine as time goes on, Calvin and him begin butting heads at certain moments, and Edgious gets more like a snarled old guard dog, with that raised kind of lip, and as time goes on, he starts, kind of nipping at Calvin a little bit more and more as the days go on.
And you'll see him less and less around the office. And you now speak more often than not through envoys or notes via other people to avoid that conflict.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Yeah.
A month or so passes.
A
month or so passes then since the death of your wife and child, and you've buried them. This distance has begun to grow between you and Calvin, and in that moment, then Calvin, continue.
The Battlemaster will be once again at your office, knocking at the door, with a note from Calvin in hurried, squiggly handwriting that looked like it had been done in a hurry, that says, "I found him. Meet me at the ruins in the forest."
We'll say
this is it.
Map attached as well.
We can still save Reginald. Signed with a K.
Signed with a K. Signed with a K, motherfucker. Edgious will, the moment that happens, like someone, using one of those giant things, I don't know what they're called, the giant things that you blow fires with, like like accordion fucking. Thank you, bellow. Yeah. Just like when one bellows the flame of a fire, that shadowy flame within Edgious, grows from, what had grown from a small flame to like that of a fireplace now into like a raging inferno within inside of him. He will grab all the shit that he feels he's going to need to kind of handle this. I feel like, as someone who is not magic, but knows he's going up against someone magical, Matt, I feel like over the last couple of months, Edgious would have gone and purchased, with the sacks of gold in his safe, some sort of magical weapon that he believes he can wield against Clien. Now, Edgious does prefer a sword, but wouldn't be opposed to something of maybe an experimental nature, maybe something that has never been seen before, that he bought black market, something like that. I don't know, but I'll leave it to you as to what Edgious hunts out.
Bazooka.
It's a tiny little one though. It's really small.
Yeah, fuck it, why not introduce this now? You descend into this darkness and find a part of Union City that very few people know about.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually hidden
Can you take
in
notes?
the old city. And
You better have flashbacks and remember this next week.
You take notes as well. Take notes as well. I'm taking notes, but you also take notes.
It is known as the Undermarket. It is actually this black market trading post of such, which is between the tiers, underground, and it is a closely guarded secret. And I'm going to say there you find, we'll keep it simple, just because otherwise I'm going to have to go find something. But you managed to come across a rapier of sorts that has been enchanted with magical energies, and that will be a +1 rapier.
+1. So that's +1 to attack and +1 to damage. Is that correct?
Yes, you should be able to just add that into Edgious's character sheet, actually.
Oh,
just do it
that's cool. Manage inventory.
Rapier +1. There we go.
Thank you, good sir. I'll refresh my page. I appreciate you, GM. Guys, get yourself a GM like Matt. Come on, guys. Get your fucking heads out your asses and get yourself a GM like Matt who does your character sheet fucking for you. What a mensch, guys.
Very good then. You also... I'm also going to say you purchase a number of potions of healing as well.
Yes. For sure.
So you
100%.
Because Calvin will need them all.
6 potions of healing.
6 potions of healing?
Yeah. Which again, I'm now adding for you.
Thank you, good sir. That's wild. Yeah, I mean, he's prepped. I imagine, dude, okay, so he's got his actual rapier on one hip and then the new one on the other hip. Then like under his jacket in like almost like gun holsters, he's got like 6 healing potions, 3 on either side, tucked underneath his jacket, like concealed, basically.
Excellent stuff. So, Edgious is packing, like, all over the shop. Yeah. We'll say you've taken that scalpel with you as well. That's been constantly in your bag. You also have the mirror shard.
One of my daggers. Yeah, one of my daggers. I'll say the 2 daggers in my character sheet will be the mirror shard and the scalpel. I'll make those the 2 daggers.
Excellent stuff. You then exit Union City, and begin to follow the directions of Calvin to the east, out into the forests of Dryamere, or the beginnings of the forests of Dryamere. And it actually takes you partway up one of the mountains as well, still in the forests. And you spend a while almost thinking you're lost, but still managing somehow to navigate through this forest. Make me a survival check, please.
And Edgious is thinking about those purple eyes as he's walking, that's flashed in the mirror when he looked in the mirror. Oh, yeah, he's distracted. That's a 3. A solid 3.
It's a 3. You start to wander through the forest and you think on those purple eyes, and it does distract you, and at one point you take a wrong turn. You realise you're heading down the mountain, and you, as per the instructions from Calvin, need to head up. So you turn back around, and eventually, as night begins to fall and the rain begins to fall quite heavily as well, you see a subtle green glow ahead of you. As you approach, you sort of exit out onto a plateau of sorts, but also a clearing. And you find a strange ruin of sorts that looks like a 3 circles that are joined together, but the walls are crumbling and vines are growing up the walls as well. The glow comes from within this central, or the central point of this particular ruin. What are you doing?
As a rogue, as Edgious is at this point in his life, I would like to hide in amongst the shrubberies that surround this kind of clearing. I'd like to just try and basically stay within the shadows and keep watch. Can I spot Calvin? Can I spot anything else? Is this a trap? Like, basically just investigate from the shadows as much as possible.
Make me a stealth check first, please.
Hell yeah. Nice. Fuck yeah, that's a 27 dirty.
27, very good. As you sort of hide, begin to look around, what you do notice as you peer around, I'm not sure what the fuck Stanley's doing there, just getting bored. In the centre of the room, you just warming him up.
He's rolling his stealth as well, so you know whether fucking I see his ass or not, motherfucker.
As you turn and look over this wall, then, you see a strange metallic contraption that you would recognise as a mini orrery, which is this collection of gears and circles and little globes that rotate around at different points. And it's a way of tracking the cosmos, way of tracking either planets or celestial bodies.
I wish Lex was here.
I know what that is.
Yeah, you do. And on the ground in chalk is green chalk that is glowing, and you see something in the shadows behind this metallic object.
Can I see? Am I able to discern what that is from the green glow that's being thrown upon them?
It's almost like the green glow where it's shining is putting it in shadow. Without the green glow there, you'd probably have been able to see it, but just because of the glare of the green glow, this magic circle makes it harder to see it.
Okay. Yeah, like trying to look across a fire and at the people on the other side kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck, man. I have no spells. This is so bad. Fuck, dude. Okay, so I have this ability. It's an in-combat ability, but I wonder if I can use it. It basically allows me to make a perception check. It's called Eye for Detail. To spot hidden creatures, objects, or to make an investigation check to uncover, decipher clues. Is there any way where I can, like, kind of, like, circle around and maybe try and get a bit closer? Like, to it? I want to, like, just sleuth my way around.
Are you going into the ruins, or are you sticking to the outside?
I will, like, go into the ruins, but again, like, staying, like, going from shadow to shadow and, like, moving from... Are the ruins, like pillars and, like, almost like Parthenon-y type ruins, or is it more like Stonehenge type ruins?
You can open up Albert Rodeo and have a look.
God.
Oh.
That's never a good sign. Let me get Albert Rodeo up.
But just to describe it to the folks watching and the folks listening, then it is this, as I say, it's almost like 3 circles have been put together. There's not much left of the walls. The northern walls are probably the ones that remain the most. You've got 3 pillars which should have been at the connecting points of the circles, and then this metallic orrery in the middle, which is slowly turning. The rest of the landscape is very much grassland and trees and sort of mountainous landscape as well.
Yeah, he'll go up to basically where he is, like back against that wall there, and and then I'll try and use that eye for detail. And the investigation roll was a 19 plus. Ooh, God, that's a 28.
Nice.
So as you peer in now, there's something crouched. It's clearly humanoid. Something is crouched the other side of this orrery, and it's the glare of this spell circle makes it just... all you can see is the figure. You can't get any details. It's hazy through this shine.
Okay. Can I decipher what this, with my eye for detail, do I know what this arcane circle is for? Do I know what's happening here? Like, is this a ritual that I've stumbled upon?
Make me an Arcana check, please.
Alrighty, so... Fuck, man. That's an 11.
11. I'm going to add something to that, considering you've been reading the book and studying this anyway, so I'm going to knock it up to a 15.
Appreciate it.
You would understand that this is one of those planar-based rituals of some sort. You're not sure how that connects to the orrery, or the fact that this is green as opposed to the usual pink. But there's just... you just get that feeling of, okay, there's clearly some form of planar dark ritual or something going on here.
Fuck, dude. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Edgious, filled with rage, would probably step out super fucking ominously from behind the ruined wall, and he would have his new rapier in one hand, his unfolded pan flute rapier in the other hand, and he'd be like, "Calvin, is that you?"
Danny?
So, the person crouching down, when you say, "Calvin, is that you?" the head pops up, and then as they stand, their stature seems to increase, and it's bigger than you remember Calvin being, and then you just hear, "You fucking fool!" And then as I turn around, you'll see my eyes are purple. I've been under your nose this whole time. How could you not see it? Detective, my ass. Your boy figured it out. That's why he had to go. The wife was just a bonus. And then I'm standing there as Clien in front of you.
And you see this individual in a purple pinstripe suit, this black trench coat, sort of this top hat as well. But the eyes, even through this green glow, shine this bright violet, this bright purple. As Maximillian Clien reveals himself.
Bodhi fully hard, Edgious stressed. Sick reveal. Amazing. It's weird because as Edgious looks at this guy, though head shrouded by very glorious top hat, a lot of him reminds Edgious of himself in looks. The guy's wearing a pinstripe suit. He's got that chiseled jawline, eyes that seem to glow not naturally. And for a minute he like flashes back to that mirror and has like a moment of doubt, wondering whether he's just looking at himself. As the screams and wails of those who Edgious has tortured and beaten in the last months to gain the information that he's been collecting against Clien, which he lied to Calvin about. He told him he was looking for him, but Edgious had actually begun to study what he could possibly find of a weakness, if there was anything that linked these cases, anything that was a consistent, anything that was a pattern that he could break, counter, and work against. So Edgious steps out and goes, well, I don't know whether to call you a friend, an enemy. I suppose at this point, you had to do what you had to do. And I've done what I've done. My only question is why? At least, after all this jerking me around, you can give me the courtesy and the honor of looking me in the eye and telling me, fucking why? Because I want to know.
The fact that you haven't even figured it out by now, you're not worthy of the answer. And then he'll change into the appearance of your boy, and he'll go, save me, Daddy. And then change back into Clien.
Edgious, in that moment, almost like a like hard pull focus in on Edgious, as his head is tilted down, the mops of his hair kind of in front of his eyes. As he looks through the hair, those emeralds within his skull burning the face of Clien. You think that's gonna work now? You think I haven't felt pain? Ah! And he just like in that moment almost looks vampiric, his teeth almost coming out like a wild creature, untamed and just loose as he charges towards Clien, blades twirling behind him.
Excellent stuff. Well, with that being said then, my friends, let's roll some fucking initiative.
Roll initiative! Come on!
I would like to point out this is our first PvP on Malt and Magic as well.
Oh, it's
not the first POV that me and Bodhi have done, though. Huh?
This isn't our first one-on-one video, let's just say.
I got a 19 on initiative.
Nice. And Bodes?
Edgious, clouded by unbelievable anger, got a 7.
So, Clien goes first then as Edgious rushes forwards. Maximillian Clien, how would you like to start this combat?
I will take my hat off, and then, I don't know why, but his face seems to morph into something fucking horrific as I use Cause Fear.
Nice.
So that's a Wisdom 16 saving throw, please, Edgious.
Yikes. Oh, man.
It's almost like a morph of your zombified wife and child that you see in my face. Blech.
Yeah, that's creepy. I like it.
And, you know, I think it's appropriate with the stuff that's happening elsewhere in the world and Clien being of the arcane nature. I feel like this is exceedingly appropriate. I just rolled a 1.
You was frightened, son.
In that moment then, Edgious, as you step forward and you see this horrific visage, everything that's happened to you, every single moment, every horrific image, every horrific crime scene, every death, your family, everything just comes to the forefront of your mind and you instantly are overcome by fear. Now, I believe as part of that spell, so you are now afraid.
Yep, you're now frightened. You can repeat the save at the end of each turn.
Throw. So, as per being frightened, you can't get closer
Can't
to your
get closer.
target.
Yeah.
And attacks against it, or as any attacks while it's in line of sight, are at disadvantage.
I'm concentrating on that now.
Very good.
Okay. You're concentrating on that, you say?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Is it? I like that. Now I do like that.
Anything else on your turn, then, Clien? Keep wanting to call you Calvin now. I've been doing it all session.
No.
No? Very good.
I'll just stand in the middle. Bold as brass.
Edgious will see this like horrible visage of Clien transform and morph in front of him. Edgious will then alter his course and begin running circular around the ruins. 5, 10, 15. And then about here, Edgious is going to sheath one of the rapiers and pull out the shard of mirror and not look at Clien, but actually look at him through the mirror. And he's then going to basically throw the rapier over his fucking shoulder as he turns and fucking tries to throw the rapier at Clien. And this will be his pan flute rapier.
Okay. I don't know if that's got the thrown property, but we're going to roll with it anyway. So I'm going to say...
It does not have the thrown property.
So roll me a d20 plus your dexterity plus your proficiency.
Cool.
So I think it does that anyway.
That is a 15.
A 15. Now I'm going to give Clien 2 extra to his armor class because technically there's a metallic object in the way. And I'm still going to say roll that with disadvantage as well. Because even though you're using the mirror, I liked it, but technically that's still sight within your view.
15. The second one was higher.
15 again. Cool. So, Clien, with a +2 to your armor class, does a 15 hit?
15?
Yeah.
Did you say? Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So you manage to just chuck the rapier and it catches off the side of this orrery, but still sinks into, we'll say it sinks into one of Clien's legs. Roll damage, please.
Okay. 1 second. That is 1d8, and also, as a bonus action, can I make an insight check on Clien using my insightful fighting?
You can. What would you like to discover?
Awesome. So what I basically do, the way it works is I make an insight check against his deception check. If I succeed, I can use sneak attack against the target, even if I don't have advantage on the attack roll. And that's
Nice.
That's it.
But not if you have disadvantage on it, which you had disadvantage on the attack.
Oh, I did have disadvantage on it. You're right. Oh wait, no. Is that on the? Yeah, on the attack roll. Yeah. I'm just trying to lock this in. I'm happy to take no sneak attack on this attack, but I'm just trying to lock this in for next round. So it lasts for a minute.
No worries at all. So,
awesome. So I'll make my
make
insight.
me a insight versus a deception check then, please. Danny?
So mine is an 18.
Okay.
And mine is a dirty 20.
Fuck.
There you go.
Cool. And then, so damage is going to be... do I add anything to that, Matt, at the end of it? Do I add the standard +4? Because it's thrown,
it's the
or do I...
damage, yeah.
Yeah, cool, awesome. So that's going to be 10 points of piercing damage. And Danny, you've got to roll to concentrate. You have disadvantage on the roll because
Indeed.
I am a mage slayer.
Oh,
Hey.
bastard. Oh, you bastard. I rolled a 9 with disadvantage. It was a 17 and a 4.
Fear is
Well
gone.
played. Well played.
And then Edgious is going to use the rest of his turn to 1, 2, 3, and basically, so he's going to throw it over his shoulder. Now that the fear is gone, he's going to tuck the mirror back into his pocket, pull out his scalpel, rapier in hand, diving roll back to the pillar, like fucking hiding behind the pillar.
Very good. Clien then.
If you're no longer scared, that doesn't bother me. As I cast Rayolithum's Psychic Lance at you.
Jesus
Fourth-
Christ!
Fourth
What
level.
fucking level is this guy? Holy fuck!
That's an intelligence saving throw, please.
Oh,
16.
for fuck's sake! Fucking intelligence, are you fucking kidding me? Fuck, man. Oh, I need a nat 20 right now. Please, please, please. God motherfuck. That is that's a 13.
Boom.
13.
So, you take 7d6 psychic damage, which comes out as 29, and you are incapacitated until the start of my next turn. Yeah.
29, and I'm incapacitated until the start of your next turn?
Yeah, until basically, yeah, you miss a go. Basically.
Cool, well that's me dead.
Can't take
GG,
actions,
guys.
actions.
GG.
So as this psychic lance just beams into you, Edgious, Clien, what are you doing on your next turn then? Knowing that your prey is incapacitated.
Edgious collapses to the ground, holding his head like ah, as the screams of all his loved ones and people he's hurt echo around his mind.
as with all cocksure evil villains, I'm going to gloat on my next turn. So knowing he can do fuck all and he's mind wiped essentially for a bit, I'm just going to carry on tinkering with my machine, getting it ready, preparing stuff, looking at him, and then I will what will I do? Just to take the piss a little bit, I will while I'm doing that, I will cast a little cantrip on him. I'll cast infestation on him. So he has loads of parasites crawling all over him whilst I tinker with my machine. So that's a con saving throw, please.
Shit.
16 to beat.
Oh man, this is really going the way I thought it would. That's a 5.
Oh. Okay. That is 3 poison damage as you're being bit by all these parasites, as I'm maniacally laughing and tinkering with my machine. As you are proving you are as worthless as I thought you were.
Cool. Cool. Does it? My turn?
It
You
is
can have a go
your
if you want.
turn now as you sort of struggle to your feet. I'm going to say blood is beginning to pour from your nose and your ears and sort of the corners of your eyes as well, where this psychic energy has ravaged your brain. And then there's these mites and bugs and flies that are eating away at your skin, just little nips. And it's very fucking irritating. It's painful at this point. I also need to roll. I need you to roll a d4, please. In fact, no, ignore me, because you're incapacitated. Don't worry about it. You're all good. You're all good. Do what you want.
Wait, am I? Wait, even though it's the start of my turn now?
No.
You're not
You were
incapacitated.
incapacitated at that point. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
There was a
okay.
bit on the spell that we don't need to worry about. Daniel's right.
Okay. Cool. So, Edgious stand up will smear blood on his face from his nose. As he begins to feel the iron drip of blood down the back of his throat as well. Edgious is going to try and do something crazy, Matt. Can I, as a bonus action, smash all the healing potions onto my body, slicing my body with the glass, but then healing myself as the potion enters the wounds? And so try and break all 6 healing potions at once.
Yeah.
Like a funky chicken.
Yeah, like funny chicken, exactly. Exactly.
Roll the total hit points for me as well.
Roll, what you mean by that? How much?
That's a lot of
roll
D4, isn't it?
Roll all of those hit points.
all of them? Okay. How many D4s is that? Is it 2 per one?
2d4 plus 4, isn't it, per healing potion in it?
It is 2d4 plus 4 for a standard healing potion, I believe.
So that's 12d4 plus 24.
And Matt,
It's
I
2d4 plus
think,
2, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
2d4 plus 2. 2d4 plus 2. So
Yeah,
I've got
so
to.
it'll be
Okay.
12d4 plus 12.
Jesus Christ. Okay. You
Well,
ready?
good,
Someone
man.
put on that. Get the elevator music going, guys.
Elevator music again.
Jesus. So that's.
Get the calculator out. I would also like to point out, you missed that I was Calvin Clien.
Dude, no, I didn't miss that, dude. Bodhi did not miss that at all, dude. Bodhi fucking knew. The moment you were Calvin, I was like, that's a painful joke. That hurts my soul that you're gonna do me like that. That you're gonna do my fucking character like that. Yeah, I was, yeah. I saw that. And wholeheartedly resented both of you for that decision. Oh, fuck's sake. God. So 1, 2, 3, 2 more. Fucking hell, dude. This is so many D6s. Christ, I shouldn't have done this. This was a mistake.
D6s. It's meant to be D4s.
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 My apologies. Right.
And he pulls out an
I get my-
85 healing. You know he's been rolling the wrong dice.
And also, Matt, I'm not sure if like overdosing on healing potion does anything to your like general abilities of
You're
anything.
about to find out.
You're now
Amazing.
Bane from Batman, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. Like the scene in like Ong Bak where the dude injects himself with a bunch of like steroid needles. That kind of vibe. Cool. That's 74 points of healing.
I want you to heal yourself and add any additional as temporary hit points.
Oh. Okay. So that's then. Oh my god, making me do so much maths, Matt. I love you.
You said 74, right?
Yeah. Wait. I got it. So that's just gonna go back up to 38. So 4 minus 32. There we go. 42 extra. Damn, 42 extra. That's nice.
42 temporary hit points then, as you do have a bit of it's almost like you've just been jabbed in the heart with an adrenaline needle, and I am going to say your constitution modifier will temporarily be boosted by 1 as well.
So
You have a +3 to con now rather than the +2.
cool, awesome. Cool. Edgious is going to. I think he's still so in
action though.
That's my action.
Yeah.
Cool.
In fact,
okay.
no. As per the rules of healing potions, because you rolled for it, that's a bonus action.
Okay. I'm
We
cool
changed
with
the
that.
rules we changed the rules. Yeah.
Cool. In that case, then, I am just going to rush at Clien, screaming as loud as Edgious can, and am just going to try to drive my scalpel into his fucking eye and my sword in between his ribs.
Nice. 2-weapon fight in there.
Yes. Oh, actually, no. Bonus. I can't use my
You've used
bonus
the
action.
bonus
Yeah, I'm just gonna stab him with my rapier then.
Okay.
Cool. That one's gonna fucking hit. That's a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that only just hits.
Then that's 1d8. 4 plus 5. So that will be 9 points of piercing damage as Edgious fucking just lunges straight in and just screaming. He's so lost in the flames within his soul at the moment that there's no words. He's just "Ah!" And that'll be the end of my turn. And I'm gonna
So
I'm gonna
as
stand
Edgious
right.
just smashes these bottles, and the suit now is ripped in multiple places. You can see the tanned flesh underneath it, which is cut. But there's this strange sort of, it's cut and then it's healing up. As glass almost now just sticks out where the skin has reformed around it. And there's this strange reddish glow to Edgious's tanned skin as he then rushes forward and drives a rapier into your gut, Clien.
My go now.
Yeah.
So as you stab into the gut, I'll just grab your wrist, look you in the eye, and as my gaze intensifies, my eyes become bloodshot, and then 2 streams of blood squirt from my eyes into your eyes as I cast Bloodshot. So what that happens is I take 1d6 necrotic damage for doing that. So that's 4 necrotic damage off me. But you take 2d10 fire damage and 2d8 psychic damage.
What's
so
my
that
roll?
is
A ranged spell attack, which will be
Da-
a +8, but that will be at disadvantage because they are in melee range. So
Yes.
It's not a roll to attack, so
D20.
what happens?
It is. It's a ranged spell attack. That's something slightly wrong with the spell makeup there on that one.
Oh, okay, so I still have to roll to hit.
You still have to make a ranged
not
spell
sure.
attack. Yeah.
It didn't come on the sheet, that's alright. So I got a 12 to hit then.
No, it's fine.
A 12 to hit. A 12 does not hit. And I'm going to use my reaction as a Mage Slayer to shank you again, my guy.
No! So the blood just misses you as it squirts out of my eye. It just falls short.
As
You just hear
you
this.
stand now, as you're holding that blade in your stomach and you're pulling Edgious close, Edgious goes, huh, familiar. And then, yeah, I'll make my attack. That's a 26 to hit.
Yes, 100%.
That is then, that's 9 points of piercing again. Oh, wait, yeah. No, sorry, my apologies. That's 13 points of piercing. As Edgious, oh, actually no, sorry, dude, I'm completely fucking my shit. It's a dagger. It's 3 plus 4, so that's 7 points of piercing damage as Edgious rams the scalpel into your fucking eye, giving Clien his signature cloudy eye from campaign season 2. And Edgious will just ram that in there and go, see now! You see what you've made me become! And just ramming it deeper into your eye socket.
At this point, Edgy says you do that, a necklace sort of just comes loose from Clien's, sort of underneath Clien's shirt, and you see this dark purple gemstone just hovering, I'll say hovering, just sort of bouncing around on Clien's chest. Clien, anything else on your turn?
No. After I can't do it. Hang on, is that Edge's go, so it's my go now? Or was that a reaction to what I
So
did?
that was a reaction
Oh yeah, that was a reaction.
in your go.
Yeah. That was a reaction.
Fuck, so it's now your go again?
No,
Yes.
no. Well, you need
Unless
to
you
finish
got
your
anything
turn
else.
first, so you got...
Yeah, unless you got anything else.
Whoa, right. Bonus action wise, not really.
No.
No. Oh, fucking hell, idiot. I could have used Seeking Spell earlier. Never mind. No, I cannot do nothing.
Okay.
Good. Excellent stuff. Then, Edgy, it is your go.
Amazing. As he's close to Clien still, and one blade in between his ribs, one blade in his eye. Edgious is going to try and do insightful fighting as a bonus action again. So roll me deception, Danny.
That's a D6. Just... Natural 20 for 20.
Oh,
well.
Boom.
Fuck's sake, dude. I had a 19. I was like, yes, I've got him. Fuck sake. Oh, right. No need for that. Fucking hell.
I have the buttons. We're all good.
Amazing, cool. Yeah, and then Edgious will just... with my action. I'm gonna pull my fucking scalpel out his eye and try and stab it in his fucking neck.
Nice.
And just close quarters, hand to hand. Nat 20.
No!
I needed that. Come on.
I'll hit the button again.
Okay, so that is going to be... So, 12 points of piercing damage as he slams the scalpel into your throat. And Edgious, just
many
emotions
points was
all
that?
over the place.
12 points of damage.
12 points of piercing damage. Do I get sneak attack because I'm within 5 feet, or is it I need advantage or a friend to be within 5 feet?
Advantage or somebody else to be engaged. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. And Edgious will just lean in and be like, "You see, we're so alike now. Look what you've done. See with your eye what you've done, Clien."
And he will. Exactly what I wanted. And then I will start to. You'll feel almost the heat coming through the sword into your hand as I just start to heat up. And then all of a sudden, just a blast of almost volcanic steam comes firing out of me as I cast Steam Blast. So you've got to make a Dex 16 saving throw, please.
And I have advantage because you're within 5 feet of me as a Mage Slayer.
Balls. Fuck off, Mage Slayer. I hate it.
That is a Dexterity saving throw. Oh yeah, that's a 21.
Right. So I believe now you will take half of this damage.
Yeah.
So that is some decent rolls, though. Instead of 33, you will take 16 points of fire damage.
Cool. Minus 16, did you say?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool.
16.
Beautiful. As you're blasting Edgious, his coat is like flapping behind him, his hair is like fucking going in that steam, but he's like using the scalpel in your neck to stay where he is.
Okay. And then out of almost in the distance or inside your mind, you'll hear like the howling of a wolf and the snarl of a dog as I use my bonus action to spend 3 sorcery points to summon my Hound of Ill Omen.
What a
Excellent
So you'll see
stuff.
a medium hound, just like a direwolf size.
Mm.
And can I make it attack on my first roll? I got to roll for initiative.
Is
fucking
that
hell.
a spell? Is that a spell,
It
Matt?
is.
No, it's a feat.
No, it's not a spell, sorry, it's a feature.
Cool.
So I rolled 6 on its initiative. I can't attack it on its first go, can I?
You rolled what for its initiative?
6.
6, so it's going to take its turn after Edgious, I believe.
On this,
I'm trying to
unless
think
it
of
joins
the
this
first-
round of combat.
Edgious got a 7, so
Yeah.
I need to get his stats up now just to make sure what its dexterity is for his
Hidden
initiative,
them as
actually, because I rolled a
Cool.
So,
Also, I'll use my reaction as well when he casts that first spell to stab him in the neck again. But this time with my rapier, so through the other side.
that wasn't a spell, sorry, or you're on about the previous spell that it cast?
The
Dire
previous
Wolf
spell.
one's not a spell.
Yeah, the wind one. 20 to 21 to hit.
It's going to hit.
And then that's 6 points of piercing damage. Again, Danny, as he slides the rapier in the other side of your throat. He's now holding you like Frankenstein.
the goddamn rapier. Okay.
Nice. So your hound will have a dexterity bonus modifier of +2. So that will
Trying
give
to
it,
find the
an
bloody
initiative
direwolf
order of
stats.
7.
Oh yeah, so I got 7 on. Yeah, 7 for initiative. So level with Edgious.
I have a
What's your
19 dex
dexterity,
overall.
Edgious?
19.
Oh, yeah, okay, so it'll still go after Edgious. Very good. Cool. Anything else on your turn then, Clien?
Nope, I've used my bonus action. I've used my action. I can't really... Actually, if I try and pull away, he's already used his reaction. So he won't get an opportunity attack, will he?
Nope.
I'm going to try and get some ground between us then and move back out of
Through the
range.
brick wall. I'll say you just
can
sort of
try.
smack
I'm
the
Clien, I
hands
can do what I
and these
want.
blades just slick out of your neck, and then you begin to sort of move backwards as this hound is now next to Edgious. I believe that will be your go, Edgious. Over to you.
Cool. I would like to run at Clien, and I would like to again try and bonus action insightful fighting. So I'm
The
gonna do it
hound
until I
will
get
get
it.
an opportunity
We'll
attack.
be able to take... Yeah. So
Yep,
let's do the
that's all
opportunity
good.
attack.
Go for it.
All right, let me just bring up the direwolf's attacks. Hopefully I can do something cool.
It's a-
Plus 5 to hit, that's what I was looking for.
Yep. Now you
18
will
to
get
hit.
pack tactics if Edgious is
So I
within
get
5
advantage
feet
on the
of
attack
Clien,
roll?
because No, not on this one.
No, I'm not
Because
within 5
it
feet.
will... No. But
That was my
if
best
you
roll
then move
anyway.
Closer, it was what hit?
18 hits.
Yeah.
18
Cool.
hit. Roll damage.
2d6
Force
plus
damage
3
as well.
piercing damage. So that's
Force
10.
damage.
10 force damage. And you've got to succeed on a
Oh no, it is about...
strength saving throw to be knocked prone. So DC 13.
Oh yeah, easy. 19 on the dice.
Oh, you are not knocked prone.
Sorry, that was
Cool.
piercing damage. It's force damage if
Yeah.
it does other stuff. Excellent. So yes, Edgious, continue.
Insightful. Danny, roll me deception.
God damn it. 25.
For fuck sake, I get a 23 and you're gonna dick me like that. For fuck's sake, a fucking 23. Fuck me, bro. Amazing, cool. Either way, I'm gonna continue the attack. Edgious is gonna run, and instead of attacking with his blade, Edgious is gonna run, and as Clien backs up against the wall, he's gonna put one foot on Clien's knee and try and jumping switch sidekick to his throat to try and destroy his voice box so he can no longer cast spells with vocal components.
Okay, roll to hit then, please.
I like your style. Now I've got to fucking check on my spells, you knob. Hang on.
That is a dirty 20 to hit.
Dirty 20 will hit now. I'm going to give you a choice. You can sacrifice the damage to have the effect
Sacrifice the
because
damage.
it wasn't a nat
Yes.
20. Yeah.
Yep, sacrifice the
Very
damage.
good. So
100%.
no damage, but for this round, Clien's vocal cords are...
Is it just what? Is it just one round?
Yeah, otherwise it's taking the piss a bit.
All right.
Does it matter if I've got an arcane focus?
You don't need material components if you've got an arcane focus.
Okay. All my
Well, unless
spells
they've
have a
got cost.
vocal. All my spells have a vocal component.
Okay. The fight
Cool,
very much
that
going
will-
in Edgious' favour at this point.
That will be the end of Edgious' turn.
Very good. So for this turn, you are unable to speak, Clien. In fact, it's the hound's go now.
Hounds go. Good. Because I'm going to attack you
So I'm assuming the
again
hound moves up.
as he comes
So you will get
bounding towards
advantage.
you to bite you on the neck. I'm glad you said advantage because that first roll was dog shit. That's better. 22 to hit
22 hits.
with 11 points of piercing damage, and again DC 13 strength saving throw, please.
Oh, damage. Yeah, cool. That's a 17.
Okay, you are knocked prone.
Cool. Knocked prone.
Yeah. You're on your feet.
Edgious doesn't.
With that,
Edgious doesn't even notice the bite as it's happening. He's just so focused. There's never been more focus in any one moment, maybe ever in the history of Enoweth, than in this moment, as he is solely fucking exact in what he's doing.
Yeah, the rage is there in Edgious, just the fury of a man broken. As the hound just jumps up and bites into Edgious's neck, that rage just blinds you to any of the pain, and we roll back across the top to Clien.
I found the only spell I have without a vocal component. As I look at you, my eyes will just then intensify on you as I concentrate. We'll do some Doctor Strange shit with my hands, and I'll cast Mind Spike.
Doctor Strange shit.
At 3rd level. So that's a Wisdom 16 saving throw, please.
Fucking Benedict Cumberbatch all of a sudden. He would play a good Clien, I think, actually, to be fair. You know, I wouldn't be...
He would.
When they cast Danny,
Murphy.
you know, like in the movie, that's how they do it. So what saving throw, apologies?
Wisdom 16.
Wisdom 16. Fuck me. That's no bueno. That's no bueno. That's a 13.
48 psychic damage. That's 20 psychic damage.
Jesus.
And I now know your location. It's concentration for up to an hour, and I now know your location while you're on this plane of existence, so you cannot hide from me.
Okay. Okay, so 20, did you say?
Yep.
Fuck's sake. Okay. Cool. Because you cast a spell, I'm going to use a reaction to attack you. And I would like to punch him in the throat again, if possible.
Okay.
I'll forego damage.
I'm about to become a one-trick pony.
That is 15 plus 7 is a 22.
Yeah. I mean, have you rolled below a 20 to hit yet?
Dude,
so.
I've got a +7. I've got a +7. Anything above is bad times for you. Cool. Yeah, I'll punch him in the throat again, aiming for the same voice box again.
You just knock the verbal spellcasting capability out of Clien again, and as you connect, you just hear this. It sounds like thunder and ripping, and just this cacophony of noise, and then also the scrape of metal as the orrery behind you begins to spin faster and faster, and in the sky, light just fills the night sky with lances of green, purple, blue, orange, red, every colour you can imagine, almost like this aurora effect, but it's aurora-based lightning almost that just streaks across the sky and then concentrates down into the orrery, which then explodes. I need both of you to make me dexterity saving throws, please.
Good, because he was about to lose next round.
A 10 isn't very good, so I'm about to lose now.
Nat 20. Fucking suck it, Clien.
Very good. Clien, you are knocked over the edge, just knocked over this wall, and just sort of no damage. You just sort of land in a heap the other side. Edgious, with a natural 20, you stand your ground, but because you've stood your ground, you take the full force of this arcane blast as it into you. You've not got any spells, so your magical weapon will now go to a +2. Your temporary hit points will go, if they've not gone already.
Yes, they have.
Very good. So yes, your magic item, the magic item you've got on you, is just infused with arcane energy. Your hound, Danny, make me a dexterity saving throw for that as well, please.
Oh, let it become a beast. The hound got a 14.
14, and the hound grows in size.
Oh no.
Come on.
That's alright.
To a large
That's all
creature.
I'm not worried
And
about
it will double its damage output now as a result.
Do I get to double its plus to hit?
No, just its damage output.
Oh. Yeah, I could try.
Okay.
Very good. I believe then with that we are over to... Is it Edgious now?
The dog?
Yeah, I think it was Clien's turn last because he hit me with the mind spike. I reacted, punched him in the
and
throat.
then you did the reaction, so it's Edgious's go.
Yeah.
Cool. How far back is he at this point? Or is he still there,
yeah, that's
right
a
in
good
front of
point.
me?
He'll have been knocked just over the other side.
Cool. Edgious will move away.
Opportunity attack from the dog
Yes, please, hit me with it.
with a 18 to hit.
Ooh.
Does that do it? 18? I think it does, doesn't
18 hits, yes. 18 hits, yeah.
6, 7, 14 points of piercing damage and another strength 13 saving throw, please, to see if you're knocked prone.
Nat 20.
God damn it! You are
Where's my
not
gun?
knocked prone.
Excellent stuff. That with the opportunity attack from the dog, then continue on Edgious.
Edgious is going to climb up onto the wall, stood now above Clien, and I'm going to just go. I'm just going to go two-weapon fighting, Matt. The first one is I'm going to try and stomp on his throat and finish the voice box off once and for all.
Okay.
So I'll do that first. That's a 18 to hit.
18 is gonna hit.
Cool. I'll forego any damage. I just want to make it so he can't talk anymore.
I'll say in this moment then you sort of drop your heel straight on and you feel the larynx just crack.
Cool. And then my second attack, I would like to cut the arcane focus from around his neck. I'd like to cut the gem jewel from around his neck. And then as my use object action, I would like to throw it as far into the magical vortex behind me as possible.
You motherfucker.
Excellent stuff. Edgious,
I'll make the
you
attack.
reach down then, you rip this chain off. I'm going to ask, Clien, are you going to attempt to hold on to this, or...?
100%.
Okay, so I want a contested strength check in this instance then, as Edgious goes to rip it off, and Clien, your hand comes up to just try and hold it there.
Can I use dexterity as I try and twist it with the rapier that I'm like trying to like cut it free with?
No.
Cool.
13
I like
to
it, but
beat.
no, this is pure strength.
13 to beat.
If ever I needed a high roll, it was this moment. And that's an 18 on the dice, plus my plus 0, that's an 18.
So Edgious, you reach down and you grab this gemstone and you snap the chain, and Clien, you feel just almost like there's a magical source gone from you in this instance. Edgious, you throw it straight at this orrery, and in that moment another bolt of arcane lightning just, and as they connect, both of you look towards this orrery as time stands still, or at least slows, and you just watch as the gemstone hits This shock wave of arcane energy rips through you both. Destroys flesh. Destroys bone. Everything gets disintegrated. And your forms, it's almost like Edgious, you get blown back into Clien, and then you disappear. Hovering in the air is that shard, the outer essence shard. And we are out of combat. The first thing you hear, Edgious, is the river. You feel a sense of cold seep through. What are they? Bones? You have shape, but it's not like your shape was before. And then you hear it, the steady lapping of water. There's an oar. And you feel your spine grasped by bony skeletal fingers as your body is lifted and dumped into the boat. You look up and the movement's weird. There's a swiftness through lack of weight, and you look into that hood, and where you look into that hood you see the two dark sockets where eyes would be. In that moment you see the reflection of yourself, a skeletal face and a red mohawk that just appears. The ferryman says nothing to you, but the boat is slowly paddled along the river until you feel a warmth. And as you turn, you see this light. It's a pale green light, but in there is this single beam of what looks like moonlight. And then you feel that grasp around your spinal cord again as you are just sort of lifted by a hand that could easily crush you, and you are thrown. And you hit that warmth, that light, and you roll out into a crater. As you look down at your form, there is nothing but bones. Pure skeletal form. And pulsating next to you is a purple shard.
Edgious, standing up, looking at his fingers in almost that like aurora light above him of the night sky. He's just looking. Well, that's interesting. He puts his hands down onto the ground, trying to feel the dirt beneath him. Nothing but numbness. A cool, never-ending numbness as the dirt parts as his fingers rake through the ground. He looks to his left and right as if expecting to see a brother of different means, of different sensibilities, of evil mentality sat nearby. But in amongst all the cold and iciness that seems to be around this crater, he just sees destruction. It just stands looking out at the devastation that he caused. The damage that he believes was entirely him. Nothing to do with any other world stuff going on in Anoeth. And he thinks to himself, for me to save many, I had to become the monster I hated. He picks up the Alterescent shard and begins walking, not in a direction he knows, not because he has a goal, not because he knows where he's going, not because he intends on fixing this new life that he is apparently going to be forced to live, but instead lost, with no longer a muse, something to focus on, a driving factor. No loved ones, no partner in detecting. Edgious Jones dies as Edgious Bones emerges and walks off into the forest of Dryamere, alone.
The last thing you find in the rubble is a rapier folded into a pamphlet, which you pick up and take with you. You wander for years, never staying in one place too long. You hear over those years about the mysterious return of a kingdom to the east that caused a surge in arcane power across the land. Eventually you find a need to earn coin and begin to experiment with that pamphlet. Innate arcane abilities are now available to you that weren't there before. You can craft things from shadow, but also in that moment you take time to study the bardic arts, and eventually you form a band, the Bones Brigade. You return to Union City on tour and play at the Jarl's Hearth. And whilst there, you notice a young man, muscular, long black hair, these yellow overalls that he wears, tortured look in his eyes. And you sort of raise a glass to him as you see him, and eventually begin to sort of just, on a whim, chat to him. You learn his name, Cavan Buckland. Very quickly becomes something of a roadie for the band. And then the breakup happens. You and Cavan go your separate ways. The Bones Brigade, who knows where. You and Cavan begin to travel the world until one day Cavan gets a feeling and a message, and he just turns to you and says, Edge, you know what a Star Touch crystal is? And thus begins the quest of Edgious and Cavan. Go on, Edgious.
Edge would have said in that moment, you know, I think I threw one of those into a portal of light once. And as the final scenes close, the last thing that I imagine would remain as the darkness of this story ends is just a small black flame of shadow flickering in the wind. Still alight, still present, still there.
And whilst we sort of associate that with Edgious, there is a moment where we see another form, another figure, another skeletal form with, rather than 2 blank sockets, one with a purple gemstone embedded in it. And as this individual works and pores over books, they sit back and just look around them. I will make you pay, Edgious Jones. And that, my friends, is where we will leave the origin story of Edgious Jones, P.I., now Edgious Bones. Thank you so much for that, Danny and Edgy and Bodhi. Sorry, that was awesome. Like fucking RP masterclass yet again. That was a lot of fun. So thank you so much to both of you. Thank you to everybody who's watched this. Thank you to Dave in the background. I know he's been sort of jumping in and out to help us with the tech wizardry as well. So thank you very much for that. As we said,
it turns out,
that was cool. It was cool. As we said, we are back next week with. Go on. Was the young lad was always Clien, wasn't he? The whole time he was Clien, wasn't he?
Calvin.
Yeah.
Calvin was always Clien from the very moment.
I fucking knew it. That's why he never came back, because he went and killed my family. I fucking knew it. It was either that or I was him, and I was like, it's either Danny or it's me. It's one of the two that's Clien.
And I hope you don't mind that I just randomly ad-libbed that your boy's a genius. He figured out who I was, and that's why I killed him and your wife. Just thought that'd be a nice little dig.
I think that was perfect.
Dig at your detective skills at the same time.
Yeah, I thought it was fucking perfect. I like the idea that like you had been with like my son, and almost like you'd been showing him, or like he'd seen stuff and been like, oh, doesn't this connect to this and this? Isn't that you? And you're like,
fuck.
You know, kind of vibes, you know. Yeah. Yeah, definitely love it. I think performance of the night, Danny. You went to levels, dude. Tonight, I think you're. You threw me through loops, ringers. I think your portrayal of Clien, and I hope for the sake of all of us, dude, that somehow you can portray both Lex and Clien in the future. I'm not sure if we're going to be knocking each one of you out.
Clien?
Well, fuck. Now that's a problem. Now you got me thinking. Christ, fuck's sake.
Excellent. Well, let's leave it there, folks, because I am conscious it is 11 p.m. at night. Now, as we said at the break, next week is looking to be one hell of a session. So come and join us as we play through Mystic Quills, the Book of Life and Death. It will be a first for everyone. It's a literal global first. Nobody else, apart from the developers, have played this particular module before. We are doing their premiere, ready for them to go and launch it on BackerKit as well. So please come and join us. It is going to be awesome. Look out for a load of posts on social media from both us and the Mystic Quill as well, and if you're not already following the Mystic Quill, then go and do so. This episode will of course go out on Friday on the YouTube and also the podcast, so if you missed parts of it, you can catch up on it there. But thank you all, stay safe, we love you all, and we will see you next time.
Peace.